Sam.
Yeah.
We've gotten to the last bus stop.
Okay.
In our conversation. Okay.
I've just realized the time as well because I'm going to have to go and pray. It's Friday.
Okay. So one thing.
Yeah, sure. Hit
one
me.
thing. What's your vision for African education in the next 20, 30 years?
Oh, you've thrown me the hardest question right at the end.
Okay.
Look again. I feel like a bit of a fraud here because my knowledge of the continent is weak.
Okay.
And I think that's got to be what I'm gonna talk about then.
Okay.
The reason my knowledge of the continent is weak is because I haven't paid attention to it. And one of the reasons I haven't paid attention to it is it's not at the forefront of most of our minds, especially for those in the diaspora who have moved away, whose parents, became either economic or other migrants and went to other parts of the world to raise their kids. My vision for Africa is that it becomes a continent on the forefront. I can see Africa beginning to shift in terms of media, in terms of music, in terms of dance, in terms of culture. I can see Nollywood building, and we're beginning to enter the homes of people around the world, and people are beginning to talk about Africa in a slightly different way than they did when I was growing up in the late 80s and 90s, when it was all about
poverty
and poverty, right? So my vision for Africa and bringing education into it a bit is I hope people like me can start to have a focus on Africa to shift their mindset to helping Africa develop by going there, by helping in whatever capacity they can, by trying to start business in Africa. This is something which I would love, and I think Africa can enter the spaces of innovation and business, not just in dance and music. Technology, and we talked about how the world is changing and how we've all become quite technological. Well, this is an opportunity for Africa because once you're connected to the internet, that's it. You're in. You're on the same platform as a guy from any other continent in the world and any other country in the world. You're on a level playing field.
Yeah.
And we can narrow the gap for entrepreneurs in this playing field if we can just make sure that we raise the opportunities for Africans to start business and want to maintain a presence in Africa.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about this, although I don't have the knowledge behind it, so it might be a little bit confusing. But
no, don't worry. Your passion is the start.
It means a lot to me. I came from Ghana just a few weeks ago, and I was spending some time in a school called the Divine Wisdom School. It's a small school in a place called Kitasi, in a town called Akwapim in Ghana, and it's a school in which I saw students who were fantastic, so motivated, so disciplined, so passionate, and so well educated. Their vocabulary, their grammar, their abilities shocked me. But more shocking was that they had very few resources to work with. There's not even a science lab for people that want to become doctors. I walked into an ICT class, there was no computer.
Wow.
Right? Africa has an opportunity to enter, because of the internet world, we have an opportunity to enter a space in which maybe in the past wasn't available. Because you had to get up and you had to go to another country and you had to set up.
Yeah.
Africans couldn't get the visas, we didn't have the resource, we couldn't do it. Now we can, but we are going to need, first, is those who enter that space are going to have to be well educated. And in order for that to happen, we need the resources in the school.
Yeah.
Right? So my vision for Africa in the next 20, 30 years' time is that we are competing on a level playing field online. But in order for that to happen, we need Africans who are outside of Africa to put a focus on and shine a light on and get others to help and to do that on schools which need the resources in Africa. I'm not talking about charity. I don't want to go back to the late 1980s and 90s where we start singing Feed the World and Africans have flies on their faces and we need to help them. And Africa isn't all about that. There are some amazing things going on in the continent. But what it needs is it needs the children who left Africa, it needs them to come home, if not virtually, if not physically, then virtually, to put a focus on where the resources are needed within education, to be able to help kids have the knowledge they need to be able to enter this internet space and to be able to create business within that internet space. And to narrow the gap for them, for those entrepreneurs. And that would be for me fantastic. I haven't rounded it up enough. I did say it was the biggest question that you've asked me.
Sam, you have done a great job on this question.
Thank you. I hope it makes sense.
See, yes, people like me who is still outside Africa need to put more focus on the continent. We all need to work together to make Africa the continent we are envisioning it to be.
Absolutely. And we do that in small steps. Let's do it in small steps. Let's do it with Divine Wisdom. Can I mention the name again?
Yes.
Divine Wisdom School in Kitasi, Aquapin. And you know what? I promised them that I'm going to try, and I'm going to start using my LinkedIn platform to try to raise awareness specifically for this school. It's going to take small steps. And if I can do it for this school, maybe I can widen it. And if I can do it, other people can do it. And if we keep doing that, then we'll achieve something.
Very, very good.